So you're thinking of moving to Portland, Oregon. In this video, we're gonna do a nice broad overview of Portland location and where things are in proximity to one another. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about moving to Portland and the real estate market here, subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications. I'm Casey Rowland with EXP, and we get calls, emails, text every day from people just like you looking to make their move to Portland, Oregon a little smoother, and we absolutely love it. So that information's in the description below. Please, please, please reach out to us and let us help you make your move to Portland a little more smooth. Let's get after it. We're gonna check out today a really broad overview of Portland maps and where things are in relation to one another. First and foremost, we have one thing to note. Right above Portland is Washington State, 15 minutes north. You cross a bridge over the Columbia River and you are in Washington State. People from Washington often come over to Oregon to do their shopping because we have no sales tax here. So you buy a pack of anything for $1.99, you pay with $2 cash, you get a penny back. There is no sales tax here, and people kind of love that. You save a lot of money on sales tax there. Going further into Portland, the water here makes this place absolutely gorgeous. So whether you're out over just overlooking the Columbia River, overlooking the Willamette, it's beautiful. You'll see people riding boats, jet skis, not as much swimming, but kayaking, paddleboarding. You'll see a lot of that all happening in these really cool bodies of water that we live like right around. So first thing we're going to check out is the grid system that divides Portland and make finding where you're going helpful. You'll hear in these videos northwest Portland, southwest Portland, northeast, southeast, and what constitutes the base for those divisions are the Willamette River and Burnside Street. So Burnside Street goes all the way downtown Portland, out to the east, all the way on the way to Mount Hood, and it goes to the west, all the way into the West Hills. On either side of this street, you're either in northwest or southwest Portland. Similarly, the Willamette River, not to be confused with Willamette, Willamette. It's got dozens of pronunciations that are not the way it's pronounced. And people will spot that you're relocated right away when you pronounce it wrong. That happened to me for sure. So now we know a little bit about the grid system. Let's go in a little bit more to kind of illustrate. Here's the Willamette River. You'll see that in a lot of my videos too. And even from the drone footage, you can kind of see where you are based on where that river sits. To the east of the Willamette River is Mount Hood. Before we get out to the suburbs of Portland, it's about 45 minutes from East Portland, anywhere in the southeast, northeast. You'll get to Mount Hood in 45 minutes, which is an awesome place to do a lot of things, which is also in a video. Before then, we have neighborhoods like Ladd's Addition, which, as you can see, 3rd Street, 6th Street, 9th Street. Ladd's Addition is characterized by these really cool designs. These are all rose gardens right here. Portland is Rose City, first and foremost Rose City. Once we're done and we cross the river, I'll show you where the Rose Garden is. Division Street, Belmont Street, Hawthorne, Mount Tabor, Laurelhurst Park, Cesar Chavez Street is the same as 39. They are one and up. And as such, you go from 39, 40, 41, all numerical. Southeast leads out to, you'll see tons of greenery, tons of parks, golf courses, neighborhoods. All of these neighborhoods have such unique vibes to them. They attract a certain demographic, and all people are, Portland's this place, this melting pot where you don't just melt, you amalgamate, you learn from each other, and ultimately whoever you are, you're allowed to be. It's a really, really cool place to be in that sense. But One thing to note is Portland has a ton of traffic, right? So like, let's say whether you're like single or partnered professional or like a family, if you have kids, let's say in the private school right over here by Mount Tabor, you probably wouldn't want to live over here because it would take you a long time. 84 is this 2-lane each way highway. Some parts have 3. The infrastructure just probably wasn't meant to accommodate the number of people that it has, even though they try. Anyway, it's really helpful to localize what you do. So a lot of times you'll find people who work at these larger companies like Kaiser, Intel, OHSU, Columbia, and even the not major companies. You'll live and work in a similar area. Like where I came from in California, people commuted a lot. I commuted over 45 minutes just to get to school too. And that was a lot more common. Here, people do a lot of cycling, a lot of walking, a lot of public transit. The light rail's name is MAX. They call it the MAX. The MAX actually goes from the airport to a lot of places. Like I take MAX to the airport. It saves on parking, time, traffic. Okay, grid system, City of Roses. We are in the City of Roses. It's great. Like when you go over here to Providence Park, Washington Park is like one of the go-to places here. It's a huge park. We've got the zoo. We've got tennis courts. We've got the Japanese garden. That place is great too. And the Rose Test Center has all the different varietals and hybrids of roses, just rows and rows of them. It's a gorgeous place that people go to all year round, but spring, summer, you can just smell it in the air. Really close to that is Goose Hollow, and there's a video about that neighborhood, and that's a great neighborhood that oftentimes you'll be able to find parking too. Then you cross Burnside Street right here. Burnside Street takes it from the south to the north. Northwest is referred to as the Alphabet District. And I love this district. Cute, fun. Also, in ABC order, after Burnside is Cooch Street, then Davis, then Everett, then Flanders, Gleason, Hoyt, Irving, Johnson, Kearney, Lovejoy. You'll also notice that these, if you watch The Simpsons, these are quite familiar names to you because the creator, Matt Groening, was from, it's hard to say I don't know exactly if he was from, I think he was. But he used names from the Alphabet District. Well, and Springfield, that's a place in Oregon. So you'll find all sorts of references within the show and here, even though when you're walking the streets there, you wouldn't know that it was from this like reference to The Simpsons. Company, it just started to rain. People here, they always say like, if you don't like the weather, if you don't like Portland's weather, wait 15 minutes, it'll change. And that's the absolute truth. And when you move here or even visit, like super hot topic of conversation is always the weather. Whether it's nice, whether it's raining, whether it's gonna rain, whether it just rained. People in Portland are always talking about the weather. There's about 164 days of rain a year, and it's surrounded by a lot of gray skies, like it's May. In May, you'll still see gray skies frequently. There's a lot of industries here. It's the biggest employer here is Intel. Then you got Nike headquarters here. You've got Columbia headquarters here, which now owns Mountain Hardware. So they're here too also. A couple other things that Portland is famous for: food carts, food trucks. There's full-on streets filled with them. People have bought out, rented, leased spaces which are completely filled with food carts. So you can show up to a destination with your family, with yourself, whatever, and just everyone can eat whatever they feel like all together. They're oftentimes in like park-like settings, but some of them even have indoor seating options, and there's actually a video that covers a lot of those as well. So, but they're everywhere. In fact, you could have every meal at a different food truck in Portland for the entire year and still not hit them all. So it's a really big, popular thing to do. Breweries and coffee shops are all over the city. It's very common for people to bike and socialize at breweries, at coffee shops, out and about. When the sun comes out, everyone leaves their house. Everyone goes to the waterfront where they find Saturday Market and the Blues Festival, Music Festival, the Rose Festival, Pride, Portland or Oregon wine and food events are here all summer long on the waterfront and South Waterfront. Additionally, let's say you've done that, you've gone to Voodoo, you've tried Salt and Straw, you've gone to the Rose Garden, you've started even hiking in Forest Heights, which is just outside Portland, Forest Park. Tons of hiking out in here. Well, then you're gonna want to go to the Gorge, taking 84 out to the Gorge, Columbia River Gorge. It's gorgeous. 30 is the old highway, sorry. But the 84 has an actual exit for the Gorge. That will also be in the video of things to do within an hour-ish of Portland. Beaches, Mount Hood Glacier. So skiing, not for general public all year round, but they have summer ski camps. So you'll find some really great skiers there during the summer, getting some skiing. And Hood River, kiteboarding, kite surfing, all of that is huge. Airport. So here's our airport. In Portland, there's an airport. And in Hillsborough, there's a smaller airport, which is a suburb. There's going to be a suburbs of Portland video also that will kind of tell you about some of these suburbs. But Hillsborough is on the west side of Portland, and there's an airport, air shows. Willamette Valley, you'll see lots of wineries, lots of grapes. What was like our growing season here is great. Sports. Portland has the Moda Center, which is in the Lloyd District video, and they play right in Northeast Portland. So we have the Blazers, we get large concert venues there. There's some hockey games there as well. Yeah, another sport Portland people are very much into is soccer. So here at Providence Park, across the river, that's where the men and women professional soccer play. This is also right by Hollow neighborhood. And you'll find your downtown amenities like the Arlene Schnitzer Hall, which is where like comedians, symphony, other smaller that aren't quite like Moda Center events take place. Also, so the Timbers is the MLS, the Major League Soccer team. The women's team is called the Thorns. The Blazers, Portland Trailblazers, which is how we got the name Rip City, because of the Trailblazers. That's our basketball team. We do not have a Major League Baseball team. We have an amateur league called the Hillsborough Hops and Portland Pickles, but we do not have a Major League Baseball team as of yet, or an NFL team. For that, we go north to Washington, up to Seattle, which is about a 3-hour drive, 3.5 drive, depending on traffic and potty breaks. Then we go out, we take a look, see if we go west, out 26, we get to a set of beaches. And then also you can take 99 through Tigard to some beaches. Tillamook is where a lot of cheese is made. And like I've sold to people who make milk, I've sold houses so that they can have places for their employees to work in farms. People buy vineyards over here in the Willamette Valley. And Yamhill County is another important aspect. Counties. Portland is primarily Multnomah County. Multnomah County has a kind of interesting rap because it has a lot of personalities, and there's even like an art tax. It's a very dense city. It's hard to be a landlord there because there's a lot of tenant rights, and Multnomah County is probably the most tenant favored of those. So between the higher tax rate, the added taxes, if you're going to buy like a rental property, maybe not in Multnomah County, even if a small business owner, they might go just over the outlet, actually even out past here, this way. You'll get Washington County. Washington County has different taxes. Of course, this is a topic for your visit, but it's something to keep in mind with what your intention is with your property, and it's something to keep in mind for that. Anyway, we've covered a lot. There's probably some questions. There's also some answers within the individualized neighborhood videos. Portland, very dynamic place, very diverse place. All of these neighborhoods are gonna have their own feel, their own lists of things to do, places to go, people to eat, coffee places, even like activities that might be more common, like pickleball, dodgeball, beer, wine tasting, coffee tasting, cycling events like the Naked Bike Ride that happens in Southeast, very inner. I will welcome any questions, comments, and would love to talk to you about what neighborhood might be best for you. I've gotten the chance to live in a lot of them, and when I went to college here, and they all got pluses. They all have their give and takes, just like anything else. But there's a lot of really great things here in Portland. Just to recap, Portland's grid system, north, south, east, and west, making it somewhat easier to figure out where you're going and where you are. Portland has a really great proximity to lots of awesome things, be it activities at the mountain, the coast, wineries, the zoo. I mean, whether you want to do inner city or outer city things, there's just so many fun things to do. We've got traffic as an issue to consider with where you live and where you work, so that you don't spend your life in the car or on the train or on your bike, which actually could be kind of fun. But no sales tax, and you don't have to pump your own gas. Also, you will never get tired from all the meals that you can have at the food carts on your visit or when you live here, even though a lot of us make food and there's a really big drive to buy and live locally. So anyway, Casey Rowland, we've checked out where Portland is in proximity to other things, including mountain, coast, Washington. And I look forward to getting calls, texts, and emails from you, and the information is in the description below. Thanks.